The current meteorological landscape across Ontario and Quebec is undergoing a dramatic shift as the final full day of astronomical winter unfolds this Thursday, March 19, 2026. Environment Canada set the tone early this morning at 5:15 a.m. by issuing 9 active snow squall watches for various interior regions of Quebec. This immediate threat is merely the precursor to a secondary weather event, as a potent Alberta Clipper is currently tracking toward the region, timed to arrive exactly with the Spring Equinox on Friday. The convergence of these two systems creates a complex 48-hour window characterized by rapidly deteriorating travel conditions, high-impact localized snowbursts, and a sharp thermal boundary that will dictate whether residents see rain or heavy accumulation. For those in the Quebec interior, the most urgent story involves a corridor of high-risk zones, including Chibougamau, Mont-Laurier, the Saint-Donat and Mont-Tremblant Park area, and Saint-Michel-de-Saint. These watches also extend to the Gouin Reservoir, Perron, Le Maine, La Minerve, the Rouge River area, and the Dorval Lodge area. Environment Canada has expressed high confidence in this forecast, noting that the impact level is expected to be moderate to severe due to the potential for brief but incredibly intense snowfall. Under these developing squalls, visibility is forecasted to drop to near zero almost instantly, creating whiteout conditions that can trap motorists unprepared for the sudden change. The primary trigger for this volatility is a vigorous cold front sweeping eastward across Quebec today. As this front passes, it will cause temperatures to plummet while generating gusty winds that amplify the intensity of the snow. Residents in these 9 specific zones are being urged to prepare for flash freeze-style conditions where the road surface may appear clear one moment and become a skating rink the next. While a watch is not yet a formal warning, the atmospheric ingredients are so well aligned that forecasters expect these cells to verify across the Laurentians and the Lanaudière Highlands. This region, often referred to as cottage and ski country, features challenging terrain that naturally enhances these weather patterns. Travelers on Route 117 through the Mont-Laurier corridor, or Route 131 toward Saint-Michel-de-Saint, should be on high alert, as the elevation changes in these areas can cause the snow to stack up much faster than in the surrounding lowlands. Further south in Ontario, the conditions this Thursday morning are somewhat more stable, but remain unsettled. In Toronto, flurries from the overnight period are beginning to taper off, and temperatures at Pearson Airport are hovering around -2 degrees Celsius. While the sun may attempt to peek through, the Greater Toronto Area remains susceptible to slippery spots on the roads where meltwater from yesterday may have refrozen. However, a warming trend is expected as the day progresses, with Toronto's high reaching +7 degrees Celsius. This is notably above the seasonal normal of +5 degrees Celsius, placing the city in a mild pocket of air that will likely result in a 40% chance of rain showers or light flurries through the afternoon. The situation is markedly different as one moves northeast toward the nation's capital. In Ottawa, light snow is already falling as of 7 a.m., with visibility reduced to just 3 kilometers. The temperature there is sitting at -6 degrees Celsius with a wind chill making it feel like -10. Crucially, the barometric pressure in Ottawa is falling, currently measured at 102.1 kilopascals, which serves as a physical confirmation that the first wave of the Clipper system is moving in. Ottawa's high today will struggle to reach +2 degrees Celsius, and unsettled flurries are expected to persist throughout the afternoon and evening. In Montreal, the air carries a similar bite this morning with temperatures at -6 degrees Celsius and a wind chill of -11. Clouds are thickening across the island, and light snow is scheduled to become more widespread as the afternoon hours arrive. Montreal is expected to hit a high of +2 degrees Celsius before dropping back down to a low of -3 tonight. Meanwhile, Quebec City is experiencing the coldest start of the major hubs, with a 6 a.m. temperature of -9.8 degrees Celsius and a biting wind chill of -16. Despite some early morning sunshine at Jean Lesage Airport, the falling pressure of 102.7 kilopascals signals that the calm will not last. Light snow will develop in the northern sections of the city today, potentially dropping up to 2 centimeters of fresh powder. This cold air mass sitting over Quebec City is the anchor that will allow the incoming Friday Clipper to produce more significant snowfall totals compared to the rain-snow mix predicted for the southern reaches of the province. The geography of these 9 snow squall zones is vital for understanding the risks over the next 24 hours. The corridor stretching from the remote northern reaches of Chibougamau down through the Laurentian Highlands creates a natural funnel for cold air. For those traveling Route 167 or visiting the Mont-Tremblant Park area for late-season skiing, the message is one of extreme caution. Environment Canada's high confidence rating means that the transition from a watch to a warning could happen with very little lead time. This is a classic transition season setup where the atmosphere is fighting between the retreating Arctic air and the advancing warmth of spring. These Alberta Clippers are the primary agents of this conflict. Originating near the Rocky Mountains, these fast-moving low-pressure systems race across the prairies in just a few days. While they are often moisture-starved, they carry intense cold fronts. When these fronts hit the rugged terrain of the Quebec interior, the air is forced upward rapidly, a process known as orographic lift, which condenses available moisture into the sudden heavy bursts of snow we see in the current watches. Looking ahead to Friday, the arrival of the second, more robust Alberta Clipper will serve as the main weather story for the start of the spring season. For Toronto and the GTA, the system will remain largely a rain event due to a projected high of +8 degrees Celsius. While this spares the city from snow shoveling, it introduces hazards for commuters on the 401, 407, and QEW, where heavy rain showers and spray from other vehicles will significantly reduce visibility during peak driving hours. In contrast, Ottawa is bracing for a more traditional winter hit, with Environment Canada forecasting 2 to 4 centimeters of snow through the daytime hours on Friday and a high of only +1 degree Celsius. The wind will also pick up as the Clipper passes, creating blowing snow concerns on the Queensway and Highway 417. Montreal will also see snow developing through the day Friday with a high of +2, though specific accumulation totals are still being refined by meteorologists. Quebec City will likely see the most persistent snow, beginning in the early afternoon Friday and continuing overnight with a low of -8 degrees Celsius. The broader context of this week's weather highlights a fascinating thermal tug-of-war. While Toronto and Montreal are trending slightly above their seasonal normals, Quebec City remains locked in a winter-like pattern that aligns perfectly with its late March averages. This razor-thin margin between rain and snow, often a matter of just 1 or 2 degrees, is what makes this particular Clipper system so difficult to pin down for cities along the St. Lawrence Valley. If the cold air manages to push just a few kilometers further south, rainfall totals in the GTA could easily turn into several centimeters of heavy, wet snow. Conversely, if the mild Pacific air pushing from the west gains more ground, the snow totals in Ottawa and Montreal may underperform. Regardless of the final totals, the 48-hour outlook remains highly active. Drivers in northern Ontario should also be vigilant on Friday, as wind gusts between 30 and 60 kilometers per hour are expected near Lake Huron and across the Highway 11 and 17 corridors. As we transition into the first weekend of spring, the weather remains anything but spring-like for many. The final week of March is already showing signs of further volatility, with additional low-pressure systems appearing in the long-range models. For now, the priority remains navigating the immediate snow squall threats in Quebec and the arriving Clipper on Friday. Residents are encouraged to utilize official resources like Ontario 511 and Quebec 511 for real-time road updates, and to stay glued to Environment Canada's alert pages. The rapid temperature drops associated with today's cold front mean that any wet surfaces will likely freeze quickly tonight, creating a treacherous foundation for the snow arriving tomorrow. Staying informed and allowing extra travel time will be the most effective way to manage the end of this astronomical winter.